Attention survivors. This is a PSA from the new Chernarus Republic. If you are hearing this message, congratulations, you are immune. From what we know of the virus, if you haven't been infected now, it is because you carry this immunity with you. Good news for those of you who have had close interactions with the infected. At least for now. We still have much to learn about the nature of this virus and the threat of it evolving and spreading to wildlife, or overcoming natural immunity is still an ever-present threat. Currently it seems as though the infected have become more resilient than before. Extreme caution is advised when traveling near towns or cities. Be aware that there are other diseases lurking in these lands. Radiation, untreated water, contaminated food and influenza have claimed many of those surviving the initial outbreak. Those lucky enough to survive this must then overcome the scarcity of food, the ever-dwindling supplies, and packs of wolves that have made a resurgence in the absence of civilization. All this, however, is not your greatest threat. In the absence of law, order, common decency and the societal structures to hold these things in place, looting bandits, murderers, and cannibals have been allowed to run rampant and infest our beloved country. And if all this wasn't enough, the Cherokee, an old foe of the Chernarus people, has reemerged to fill the vacuum of government authority. These Marxists threaten to add the crushing misery of communist totalitarianism upon the already grim situation we now face. Despite all this, there is hope. We, the new Chernarus Republic, otherwise known as the NCR, are working to provide aid, security, and a rule of law throughout Chernarus. In these times where trust is scarce because of roaming bands of marauders, the NCR seek to establish law, order, bring justice to the oppressed and retribution upon the oppressor. Contrary to our Bolshevik foe, the NCR believe that the laborer is due the wages of his work without the threat of the government redistributing his goods to others regardless of their effort or lack thereof. We believe in the right to life, liberty, and if at all possible given the present situation, happiness. We believe in establishing a republic in Chernarus, a state which is not owned by any monarch, party, mob rule, or oligarchy, but by the people of Chernarus. A republic. Already we have attained much to this end, having established alliances and friendly relations with other factions throughout this land who share similar values to our own, whilst allowing for liberty and diversity of conscience. The laws of the new Chernarus Republic are intuitive to good nature. 1. Raiding and looting is limited to hostile factions and hostile survivors. If you do not know whose base or camp it is, ask around. Report the location. Gather intel of persons entering and leaving the camp. Looting peaceful factions and survivors is considered mandatory and will surely invoke the ire of the NCR and its allies and prompt a swift retaliation. 2. Killing on sight is strongly discouraged. We understand that in these times of anarchy you need to defend yourself. We highly recommend positive identification before engagement and the use of colored armbands to identify yourself. If at all possible, try to communicate with other survivors verbally or by a hand gesture before resorting to violence.
Hey. Friendly. Okay. Gotta go. My gun's down. I'm in the guard tower. Okay, I'm coming out. Who's this? Zach? Okay. Zach, yeah. I'm Lou. Where are you at?
That said, due to persistent attacks made on NCR territory, any person spotted with a firearm in hand without prior granted permission will be treated as hostile. It is recommended that survivors make use of the radio when entering high KOS zones such as the Northwest Airfield and other military compounds. Frequency 102.5 is an open channel meant for communicating with other groups and for sending distress signals. This channel can be used for announcing your presence in these zones and identifying other survivors who may be in the area in order to avoid unnecessary conflicts. If you hear someone nearby with a radio on, they are probably friendly and will likely respond positively to a friendly hail. 3. Cannibalism is strictly prohibited. Any persons found engaging in this activity or carrying human flesh will be executed. Despite the famine, many groups including the NCR have been able to gather ample food to supply struggling survivors. Those in distress can call for help, and if possible, a courier may be dispatched to your location to provide whatever aid you may need. 4. Murdering unarmed survivors or new survivors entering Chernarus is forbidden. Anyone with information on persons violating these laws are encouraged to come forward and report it to the NCR. Our main base, also known as Arrow, has served as a hub for trade and interaction for the people of Chernarus for years. However, due to the persistent raids by lawless rabble, we have decided to temporarily shut down this camp. We are not the only ones to have experienced these merciless and vile unprovoked assaults. Neutral traders such as the TNT and other peaceful factions have also been targeted by groups of sadistic bandits seeking to destroy anyone who does not belong to their gang of thugs. Are you seeking peace? Do you desire security?
Hey, hold up. Hands up. Hands up. Hands up.
Do you dream of a day where you can return to your home and find it unsullied by the vile scum who currently ravage the land? Do you desire justice? Or perhaps retribution upon the many rogues who oppress the people of Chernarus? Do you desire to join a band of brothers, a growing faction of free men who oppose oppression and evil? If any survivors wish to aid us in our efforts to re-establish peace in Vybor and the greater Chernarus area, please contact us. Survivors wishing to join our forces are to contact us via radio on frequency 102.5. Anyone who wishes to request aid from the NCR may contact us by this same method. This concludes our PSA. Keep surviving.